Today, I'm joined by Storey, an estate agent from Cheshire. Just give me a bit of background about you. How long have you worked in the property industry, and have you always done that?
I've been in the property industry for, I suppose, 20 years.
Was it your first job? Was property your first job out of school?
No, I was a landscape gardener out of school, did 4 years at college doing landscape design, qualified.
Yeah.
Went to university, didn't work out, ended up doing building surveying, fell into estate agency, loved it ever since.
You now own Storeys of Cheshire. Talk to me a bit about what the business currently does and what your sort of property track has been.
So we sell predominantly homes over 500,000. We haven't got like a minimum, but generally it works out that they're all north of 500,000. We live in a nice area where I don't live in a particularly fancy house, but we live in a nice area that's got a lovely stock of properties.
Yeah.
So the average property value that we sell now is about 800,000.
Yeah.
So it's a really nice point in the market. They tend to sell well for a good price. They're really marketable homes.
Yeah.
My interest in video was sort of spiked by you guys and Chris Watkins sort of 8 years ago when we came on your course. And it was at that time that I sort of started to realize how important it is.
Yeah.
I think but it was quite a long journey to get to where we are now, where we do it so much. It's been like a gradual. The very first videos I started doing within my business were iPhone on a tripod, stood outside other estate agents' houses telling buyers why they should buy them, which is very counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But it's an idea that you guys all promote, and we did that, and we ran with it, and it got us known for adding value and not selling to people.
Correct.
So that worked really well. And we did presenter-led property videos from the start, from every single property that we put on the market.
Yeah.
Which started off at a certain level, and they've only got better and better. And I think they're probably market leading now. They're really very good.
I would say top 3 UK.
Thank you.
I'd say top 3. And because I genuinely believe that. And actually, we've had a guest on the podcast before, a guy called Vaughan Schofield, who's got a Belvoir franchise in Wrexham. And he follows what you do quite closely. And on that episode of the podcast, he dropped you in and said how impressed he's been to see that consistency.
Yes.
And the quality of output, and the quality for you, particularly with what you're selling in terms of price point, is very important, right?
It is very, very important. I have to say that I have to give the most of the credit to my videographer, Mark. He's the genius behind the camera. I'm just the mouth in front of it. But of course, it's the two of us together that make
of course, that's what makes
produce the
that's what
product.
Makes it. Yeah.
So in addition to what I've said before about standing outside of the agents' houses with a phone on a tripod, we also were presented with this idea of the Cheshire TV show.
Yeah. Shameless plug. Yeah.
Now, that worked extremely well.
Yeah.
We did a day a week here in the studio. We did a day a week up in Cheshire on location filming.
Yeah.
And that got our name out massively in front of people locally because we were adding value again, not selling.
We did 20 episodes, I remember, because I loved every minute. I think we did one a week, didn't we?
One a week.
Yeah, we did it for just under 6 months, or just over 6 months, but because it took a while to get started, and then
we filmed
we did
4
6
episodes
months
each
time.
Each
yeah, 4
time.
episodes each time. I think we'd sort of penciled doing 6 months of that content to have a massive impact on your local market.
Yeah.
What would you say that sort of content did for your business?
Well, it got us known quickly in an area where no one knew who we were. So I've been an estate agent for 20 years, but I've not been an estate agent in Cheshire for 20 years.
No.
When we started the company in Cheshire, I'd lived there 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But suddenly we were everywhere in front of people on social because of the content we were creating.
The community-based stuff for me is actually where businesses see huge gains, because we talk about the trust mountain and we talk about being known and liked and trusted. And actually all of that content that is not selling.
So it's all very well doing fancy, shiny property tours. They're important for the client who's you're selling that house for, but the bulk of your content shouldn't be to do with selling houses. It should be community-based. So during lockdown, I did 60 Facebook Lives with local businesses.
Yeah, I watched them.
One a day.
They were great.
Best thing I ever did, because everyone knew who we were. Again, it promoted us massively. It was free. And the local businesses we were interviewing loved it.
And they were also available.
Oh, they were also, of
They were
course.
all sat at home.
Of course, it was like unique time.
Yeah, unique time.
But then just, even to this day, they are grateful for what we did for them during that period,
Yeah, I think it was really key. And actually, I saw a lot of the stuff you were doing. And actually, we had a conversation during that period. And the reason you did those actually wasn't for a sales purpose. I know it wasn't. It was because you didn't know what the future of a lot of these businesses was.
Oh.
And you were concerned because a lot of them were friends of yours and business contacts of yours, and you had no idea whether their businesses would survive. So you were doing what you could to try and keep them going and trying to
Yeah.
keep the spotlight on them.
Of course. I think at that point, I wasn't sure if we were going to survive. I don't think anyone was sure they were going to survive, were they, at
No,
that point?
no.
So we were sort of helping each other,
Mm.
really. I know a lot of estate agents nationally
Mm.
because we're in groups such as yours, or I'm in Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups with other, other agents. But I don't really know any of the agents around me. I only really see of them what they put out on Rightmove and Facebook.
Yeah.
And from what I see, it hasn't really accelerated much at all, because the property market in the last 3 years, nearly now 2.5 years, has been so crazy. My 7-year-old daughter could have photographed it and it would have sold over marketing price. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of agents haven't accelerated or changed their marketing because they've not had to. Agents nationally that I'm connected with do some amazing marketing and they are really accelerating what they're doing, but I don't think it's the bulk of agents.
What's interesting for me is that even in a really hot market where you were selling really, really well, you still made top end content,
Always.
even though
We didn't need to.
you didn't have to.
Of course, because the purpose for making it so good is to attract new clients,
Yes.
mainly.
Well, every review I've seen from every client that I've seen online has been positive. What can a customer and what can your team, because I know you've grown your team a bit like we have, how do you do business?
So the vast majority of the properties that we sell are old family homes where people are downsizing and their kids have flown the nest and they're moving. So it's a very family feeling to the whole process. And the team are very well trained that what's most important is the result that the client gets, the overall result. So that's money in their pocket, that they've bought the right house, that they're not paying too much for that house, that the process is as stress-free as possible for them all the way through, that we're holding their hand, that we add in nice little touches like delivering fresh flowers to them when they come on the market with us, and all those sorts of things that just make it feel nice for them. So I would say, in terms of how do we do business, it's the overall approach of the family and how the feeling is of how they feel throughout. That's the most important thing to us.
But if you were going to speak to an agent in another part of the country that was just getting into the market, what would your sort of core advice be?
The first thing I would do, which is what I'm going to do again and now in an area that we want to grow in, is Chris Watkins' vendor farming technique, which is standing outside other agents' houses with your iPhone selling it, because that is, people can't believe that you're doing that because you're getting nothing from it, and they really feel like you're helping them and adding value and not selling at all. So that's the first thing I would do if I was an agent trying to start out. But the overwhelming, I said this to Chris Watkins recently, is I'd be doing presenter-led videos for every single house that you put on the market,
regardless of cost.
Regardless of cost.
Price, yeah.
When we started the company, we didn't make any profit for, 18 months probably, because we paid for a video and pro photographs for everything that we put on the market, because I knew how it would go down with the general public. So find the best quality videographer that you could afford and do it for every single house. And also community-led video interviews as well, which you can do on Facebook, on your phone, on StreamYard as a live. Takes 10 minutes. Dead easy to do.
Do it on Zoom.
Do it on Zoom. Better still, go and stand in their shop on a Saturday morning when there's people coming in buying bread.
I cannot advocate getting into your community enough. I think with particularly property businesses, but any business that knows where its customer base is, i.e. is a local business that's transacting within a particular coverage area, like an estate agent. It's harder if you're a national business, much harder, because you can't be everywhere.
No.
But for someone in your industry,
local,
which postcodes you sell houses in.
Yes.
And therefore, where you'll be selling houses, which means you can know where all the businesses that live and operate in those areas are. So if you get yourself into the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, and you stand there and you say, come and use these guys, they're brilliant, whatever, you're able to piggyback on their social traffic without having to worry about selling anything.
Yes.
Because people are just seeing your face.
Yes.
You've done a lot of community content since. Could you almost quantify what you think it's done for your business?
It's definitely helped us to grow the business because people think they know you before they meet you.
Yeah.
So if you're going into, obviously I'm an estate agent, so I sit in people's living rooms and they have 3 estate agents or 2 estate agents and me. For other businesses, it'll be a different type of situation, but the client feels they know you before you walk into the room.
Has it made that transactional process easier,
Yeah.
where you've walked up to the house and they've gone, "Oh, hi, Ian."
Oh yeah, you've had it on the street, and I'd no idea who they are, and they think they know you. But when you're running a business and you're trying to close a deal, you know, you're trying to get a client to sign with you. If they feel they know you first, then they have trust in you, and it comes back to video. You know, if you're scared on video, then write on LinkedIn, or you know, write blogs or whatever. Do what you're good at. But if you're good on video, it's the best.
Can you let us know into a little secret about how you might be making it even better over the next 6 to 12 months?
But in terms of our property videos, what we're trying to do is add in more lifestyle elements
Yes.
conducive to the location of the house. We'll focus on going into the coffee shop and
Oh, nice.
getting on the train.
So it feels more like
Taking your kids
you're
to
selling
school.
the lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So we're trying to add more of that into each one as well. We're trying to, we've removed pretty much all of our corporate branding from all the videos. So there's a tiny little SC, Storeys of Cheshire watermark in the corner, but we don't have any big logos of our company in there anymore. It's just the property logo. So we're trying to make it, you know, less salesy, as it were, more sort of TV lifestyle-y.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, I'm starting to do the vendor farming videos again, where you stand outside other agents' houses to promote them.
Yeah.
We're starting a podcast, which is nothing to do with houses at all. It's just to do with the areas that we cover. So we've got one called the Northwich podcast and one called the Tarpley podcast, because they're the two towns that we cover mainly. Launching, and what we're doing there is interviewing local business owners about.
Yeah, good.
It's a bit of a masterclass on small business.
Yeah.
So the challenges of running a small business, because a lot of our clients are self-employed, entrepreneurial type people, so they get it. And then the other part of the podcast is talking about the area and where they go out to eat and what they do with the kids and that sort of thing. So highlighting the location in your video content is
An absolute
key.
winner. Absolute winner. So talk to me about the podcast then.
The people I started to do it with initially are all the people that we've done it with before, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Because I knew they'd say yes.
Yes.
So we've interviewed the local artist and the local photographer. We've got 30 odd episodes booked in now already.
Fantastic.
Doing one a week.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Because because our team has grown, I've suddenly got a little bit more time now to try and focus on the macro of the business. When you're trying to grow a business and you are therefore delegating work, it's hard, because you know that when you do it, you do it right.
Yeah. Or a certain way.
It's finding the right people who you can have confidence in that they are going to do it correctly.
To a good standard.
And you're right, that might be slightly different to how you do it, but as long as you know they're going to do it correctly for the client to a certain standard, it's getting to that level in the business that's hard.
It is.
And I would say I've almost never had that in business up until now. I've employed some good people in the past, the odd one or two, but I've never really had a team now.
Yeah.
Like now, when they're all good.
So what's your plan then for the next 12 months?
Next 12 months is, so I've trained up Phil now. So Phil is taking on a lot of what I did in the Northwich area in terms of valuing properties to get them to come to market with us. So he's freed me up to go and focus on Tarpley, which is an area where we've done quite well, but there's lots more growth opportunity there. So that's my target now for the next 12 months, is to grow our market share by X percentage in that area.
Well, I wish you the utmost success in doing that.
Thank you. And by the way, I'm going to be using video a lot too.
Good. I'm glad.
to do it.
But you won't be using me.
You're too far away.
Mate, thanks so much for your time. I
Cheers,
really appreciate it. I love you a lot.
I love you too, mate.
And I wish you continued success.
Thank you.
And I know we'll probably chat next week anyway.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, no thanks.
Cheers, man.